Hey everyone, we're at Donkey Projections. My name is Eric and we have Lucas here as always.
Hey guys.
Today is September 11th, 2020. Never forget the horrific events that happened 19 years ago. Today we are going to be talking about new surges from battleground states, specifically the blue wall, all of it. All four states had an uptick or a pretty significant surge, and the state of Arizona, which is very contested in this year's election.
And with that being said, let's get right into it. All right, so we have these states we've laid out here. These are key swing states that both parties need for a victory. Let's start off by looking at probably the largest surge that we've seen recently, and I think that's Michigan. Would you say so, Eric?
Yes, Michigan is in a very good spot for Joe Biden. As we see on September 7th, he was, still doing pretty well in the polls, 6, but now he's at a high 7.5, 7.6. And the margin is this is pretty significant, and especially in a state like Michigan. I feel like the reason why maybe there are a lot of these upticks in polls, and just sorry to interrupt, Rasmussen, a terrible pollster, even puts Biden up by 9. So maybe the reason why we see a surge in battleground states is maybe because of the recent events, and the media was reporting about how Donald Trump downplayed the coronavirus, and they really pressed on the president. And I think that did cause an uptick in the polls in not just Michigan, but in a lot of other states.
Right. As you said, Rasmussen's a terrible pollster. This pollster swings to the right many times. And if they put Biden up at 9 points and him having 53% support, how much is he really up? And that's a good question to ask. I'm going to be honest here. I'm not too sure what the comparison is between the margin right now in 2016 versus what it was versus what it is now. However, Hillary might be doing better margin-wise. I'm not too sure. I got to double check that. However, generally, Biden is at a higher level of support. In 2016, there was a very high number of undecided voters, and that was because both candidates were extremely unpopular. This year, there's only one unpopular candidate, and that's Trump. According to the favorability ratings, Biden is actually in the net positive.
Mm-hmm.
And that higher level of support means that Trump has less room to improve. If Biden's numbers of support are above 50% by election day in a state, that means that there is no way that Trump could take back the lead there, because there's really no more undecided voters, and he already has a clear majority, right?
Exactly, yeah. And speaking of approval ratings, although we were seeing a gradual increase, very small gradual increase in Donald Trump's approval rating, kind of tanked again just a little. So, yeah, these events, with the downplaying of coronavirus and it, being made public really did impact him, in my opinion.
I agree. I completely agree with that. Let's also now check out the state of Pennsylvania. Eric, why don't you discuss, the state of Pennsylvania here?
Yeah, so this is a state that's being really heavily talked about. It is going to make a difference, and different people think about different outcomes. But as Lucas just hovered over, Pennsylvania did see a slight increase. Before it was in the 4.5 range, and now it took approximately a 0.5 percentage up. So there is a gradual increase there.
I actually think it's a full percentage up, actually. On September 8th, it was a 4.1 lead. Now we're at a 5.1 lead for Biden.
Yeah, sorry, my mistake. Guess I didn't see that there. But yeah, Joe Biden did increase by a full percentage point, which is looking really good in Pennsylvania. Let's take a look at the individual polls themselves. So as we see on September 9th, just a couple of days ago, A-plus pollster Marist College put Biden up by 8 and by 9. And that is very good for Joe Biden, especially in the battleground state like Pennsylvania, which Donald Trump was able to take in 2016. And it was a very crucial component to his, his victory over Hillary Clinton. So right now, Joe Biden looks like he's in a very good position according to the polls, and we do have some other not so good polls that do put him lower. And today, the polls also, I think, yeah, Biden +3. I think that may be a bit of an outlier. And BC poll, I'm not really trusting, but the Marist College poll is really that's a pretty good sign for Joe Biden.
Right. I agree with you. And I think Pennsylvania will be crucial for a Joe Biden victory. And it's looking like it is, pretty, I would say, pretty good chance of happening. I'd say probably 70% chance, maybe a little bit lower. This is like one of the no, I don't want to say that, but he was definitely up higher in in July and August since decreased, but a 5-point lead in Pennsylvania is pretty good. Hillary was up by 6.5 on election day in Wisconsin, and she did lose that. I'm going to quickly check right now what those exact numbers were. I actually pulled it up here, and this is a perfect segue to our next. I don't know what video's playing, but this is a perfect segue to our next section. I'm not sure why this is playing, but anyways, this is a perfect segue into our next section, which is Wisconsin. According to the polls from 2016, Hillary was up 6.5 points. Yes, that's correct. But her level of support was incredibly, I want to say that's pretty low, isn't it? For only 46% support. Let's actually take a look at what Biden is up now in Wisconsin and what his level of support is. 50.3. 50. Meaning that
is good.
There is a very low number of undecided voters. According to the polls right now, there's only 7% of undecided voters that can potentially float to the Trump column by the end of the day. That means Trump has he can win all of the 7%. He still loses according to this because Biden has 50.3. And we're led by 6.5. Yes, but she only had 46%, and Trump had 40%. So what is that? I can't do math today, but let's see. How much undecided is that? That is
86. So that is a 14% undecided.
14%. That's double of what we have this year. So there's very little for Trump to improve on what he has right now.
And the thing is, in my opinion, I feel like if Joe Biden is able to take a state like Pennsylvania, which is pretty contested, I feel like he is going to have easier times taking other states such as Michigan and Minnesota. So I feel like if Pennsylvania goes to Joe Biden, I just have this feeling that a lot of the other states in the Rust Belt will follow suit as well.
I would agree with you on that. And now talking about Wisconsin. We did label this as a surge. And the reason why is because on August 31st, Biden was only up by 5.3. That has become 6.9 now. That is pretty significant. That's a pretty significant jump, a 1.6% jump. And the fact that he is over 50% now. He's been over 50% since the start of September. Again, if he's over 50%, what else can Trump do? According to the polling, not much. Because he can win every single undecided voter. He still loses the state. And Wisconsin's crucial to a Trump victory as well as a Biden victory. But it means a lot more to Trump, I believe. Emerson College A- pollster, Biden's up by 7. Pretty significant. Morning Consult 9, Market Law School, AB's pretty good. 7's 4. I don't want to trust change research. Wow, Rasmussen, look at this again. Rasmussen has Biden up by 8. If Rasmussen's saying this, how much is he really leading? So always a good question to ask.
Yeah.
All right. Now that's the end of Wisconsin. And the final 2 states are Minnesota and Arizona. Let me remind you that if Biden can flip these 3 states, not our home state, but if he flips those 3 states, he wins the election. Assuming that he holds every single Clinton state.
That is, in every election, that is essentially the bare minimum that you need, because that's just such an essential chunk of the election that just holds a lot of weight, and it is usually contested in every single election. And if one candidate has all of them, that's the bare bones, and they've essentially won. Look, he needs to do more.
Right.
And he only has Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, and all of his safe strongholds.
And no, I did say considering that he holds every state from Clinton. I left Minnesota out on that on purpose. That's why it's 268. But we are seeing some comebacks for Biden in Minnesota. We did see a little bit of a drop, before.
Yeah.
There was a point in August 31st, where 4.6 point lead. That's it for Biden. A lot of people were shocked by this, but that has since, it seems like Biden has kind of taken back the lead here, 6.4%. He still has a 51-point lead here. And again, there is a relatively small number of undecided voters, only 7%, actually less than 7%. That's like 6%.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always important to keep that in mind. Survey USA, pretty good pollster. A is pretty good. 9 points.
You can consider that a surge based on the previous polling, previous average itself.
I agree.
Yeah.
To go from 4.6 to 6.4, that's absolutely a pretty large surge. So with that, Biden can simply win the election. Mm-hmm. You just flip those 3 states, which he's looking extremely good in. And in many of the states, he's either above 50% or he's nearly at 50%. Like, when I say nearly at, I literally mean that. Like, 49.9 points. Wisconsin, he's above 50%. In Michigan, he's also above. And again, to reiterate again, if you're above 50%, there's not much your opposing candidate can do because there is such a small number of undecided voters. Mm-hmm. And the final state we did see a surge in was Arizona. This is actually, fun fact, the highest point Biden has ever polled, the highest lead Biden has ever had, and I believe also the highest number of support it is that he's ever had throughout this election season since February. That's pretty incredible. People were expecting a lot of states to narrow, which they did narrow. Looks like Arizona has, kind of increased recently, because if we look at it before, in again, August, end of August, he was only up by 3.9. He's since brought that lead. He's widened that lead now to 5.3. And I actually remember that we did a presidential election based on the polls video, I believe 6 days ago. Yeah. And we actually had to move states like Arizona, states like Pennsylvania, states like Florida, we talked about in a separate video. But we moved a lot of those states, according to the polls, to the right a little bit, because I think Arizona actually moved from a likely to a lean. It did. It's only recently it came back to a likely. Mm-hmm. Looking at the recent polls, Benson Strategy Group, they don't have a rating, so I don't know what to say about that. Biden +1. Change Research, not so good pollsters. Fox News, though. Fox News, +9, +10 in Arizona.
Yeah. And let me say, as I've said countless times, I'm copying this phrase now. Arizona used to be a very conservative state. It had very conservative Republicans. And that has clearly changed ever since the coronavirus had hit the United States and the Black Lives Matter protests started to erupt. Biden has been holding a very consistent lead, and he's doing a very good job, especially considering that Donald Trump was able to carry the state in 2016. And now look how the tables have turned for him. Can you go back to the map?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you have it. Now that Lucas, will fill it in. Joe Biden has 289. And that's just my conclusion. And this is coming back to what we said in our previous video, that Florida, we didn't give it to Joe Biden. North Carolina, we didn't give it to Joe Biden. 29 plus 15, that's a 44 electoral vote difference. And even without that, Joe Biden did secure, he's above 270. And that just shows you how the blue wall is important. And not only that, but Donald Trump needs Florida than Joe Biden does for certain.
But again, I do think that Florida has a very good chance of still going to Biden. I mean, looking at the polling data, we didn't consider this to be a surge because it wasn't really a surge. But a 2.7 point lead in Florida is pretty good. If you remember in 2016, Trump was actually leading on election day in the polling. But these Marist College polls in Florida did not look good for Biden. The other Marist College polls throughout the United States did look pretty good for Biden. Let's just quickly check North Carolina, because why not? Rasmussen has Trump up by 1. I mean, that's still very narrow. And considering it's coming from Rasmussen, again, I don't know how much up he is. Monmouth polls were interesting in showing that in all 3 polls, they had Biden up by 2. That's quite interesting. But anyway, the point of this video is that he is coming back in some of these polls. Could they potentially tighten by Election Day? Absolutely. We could see an October surprise. But that is the end of the video for today. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this episode, please hit the like button. If you like our content, please hit subscribe. We'll see you in our next episode in 2 days.
See ya.